Like, wait, like, okay, my armpits are sweaty, Chels.
I literally sweat marks. She was
Guys,
amazing.
what
I
just
have like the biggest girl crush on her. I want
what just
to like hang out
happened?
with her every day.
What just happened? I wanna hang out with Jenn Sherman all the
She's
time.
I know I say this a lot about our conversations and I mean it, but like that was truly a conversation I so needed to have today.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely obsessed with her. Like I
I
want to be
know.
her.
Such great reminders, you guys. So we just got off the phone, well, off the
We were just
recording.
hanging out.
We just got done from brunch basically with Jenn Sherman from Peloton, who we all know and love. Honest to goodness, I felt like I didn't even really know her by just taking her classes until today. You see a little bit of her on Instagram and with her best friend Sunny on TikTok now. But my gosh, you guys, this is the conversation that all women need to hear. She reminds us of our strength, our power, how all the goodness is still to come, how we're not taking a back seat with our life. We're leading the way. And I feel like I'm going to have the best weekend now.
Absolutely. 100%. I think it goes without saying, but Jenn Sherman is Peloton's original cycling instructor, and she's the founder of the Back Nine Era, a platform redefining life after 50. A former stay at home mom who didn't become a spin instructor until her 40s and didn't join Peloton until 45.
Jenn also became a content creator at 55 alongside her best friend, Pam Sunshine, AKA Sunny. And their TikTok videos showcasing their friendship went completely viral. They're connecting with women across generations. Jenn began sharing more openly about the changes she experienced in her 50s and it just boomed and created the Back Nine Era. So she offers honest conversations and practical insights around longevity, around strength, mindset, and just living this chapter with the best intention.
Without further ado, here's Jenn. Okay. All right, Jenn, we all know and love you from Peloton, but we need to know, okay, you were one of the first cycling instructors at Peloton. Talk to us about this journey, how you ended up there. What was it like auditioning, the OG days of Peloton? Tell us everything.
The OG days. Okay. I was the first. And I'm only clarifying that because it's a flex and it's a miracle that I'm still there 13 years later. I was the very first Peloton instructor. And I will tell you that even saying that after 13 years, and imagine how many times I've had to say it over the course of 13 years, it's not lost on me, like for real. Like I'm like, I don't even understand how the fuck this happened. Can we curse on here?
We
Yes.
totally can.
Okay.
Open forum.
Okay, great. So Peloton, let's call it years ago. I was already a certified cycling instructor. I was teaching. I had young kids at the time. I had fallen in love with indoor cycling for my own, physical and mental. Like that was my workout of choice back 15 years ago. Let's call it 16, 17 years ago. I was spinning, as we used to call it back then, like a mad woman. And I decided that I thought I could do it as well as anybody else. I'm a real music freak. And, if you've ever taken a cycling class, music and cycling goes hand in hand. And I loved the endorphin rush of cycling. So I got certified and I became a cycling instructor in the suburbs, like out in New Jersey with young kids looking to do something. Fitness was always a big part of my life and cycling really blew me away. And I got certified and I became like a little bit of like a thing, like in my town locally, it was like sold out classes and hard to get into my class. And I started teaching every day. And I was doing that for, I want to say 3 years before I had ever heard the word Peloton. I didn't even know how to spell the word Peloton, by the way. I had to look it up. I didn't even know what a Peloton was because I don't ride outdoors. I am an indoor cyclist.
Same.
Anyway, I got to Peloton by sending an email that I thought would never get read by anybody. Okay. I sent an email to the then founder and CEO of Peloton. It was before anybody had bikes in the house, before anyone knew what Peloton was, the earliest of their startup days. I sent my CEO an email after reading an article about this new idea about taking boutique spin classes in your home. And on this article that I read on a website called Well and Good, I have to give them credit because Well and Good used to come into my inbox and they had the first piece of, let's call it news about Peloton. There was an email address on that article. It explained the concept. It explained that it was coming to the market. And then there was an email address. And I didn't know who I was emailing. It was one of those generic email addresses, like email@peloton.com, whatever it is. And I wrote an email to, I didn't know who at the time, and I hit send and I said, this is why you need to hire me. And I
Wow.
sent the email and I never looked back. I went about my day, picking up, carpool, soccer, driving, I never expected to get a reply back. And I got a reply back from a man named John Foley, who is the founder, and he is the guy that started Peloton. Long story short, a couple weeks later, I was meeting him for a cup of coffee where he sat down and explained his vision, because this is early. There's no classes yet. There's no bikes for you to buy yet. This is all before that happened. He sat down.
What year?
2013, 2012
Okay.
into 2013. Exactly. He explained the vision to me. And while I thought it sounded like wild, and I wasn't sure how I felt about the working out from home part, because think about it, it was a different time in our lives. I loved going to cycling classes and being in a room with people with that energy. So he's explaining this idea to me. And while I thought it was fucking brilliant, I also thought it was maybe crazy. Who's going to want to work out at home alone?
Yeah.
I mean, who knew what was coming, by the way, the foreshadowing to what was coming in our lives. But anyway, that's how it started. One cup of coffee, one conversation. And he basically said to me, after some back and forth and a couple more meetings, we'd love to have you as our first instructor. And let me just jump in really quick and tell you why it was so insane. I am 58 years old, and I have been at Peloton for almost 13 years. John Foley hired me as his first instructor in my mid 40s. And do I need to repeat that? That's just insane. In Manhattan, with all of the talent out there, young, hot, all of it. I was a 40-something-year-old mom of two, and Foley took a chance on me, and I became the first Peloton instructor. I mean, it just is I tell the story, and I haven't told it in a while because I've told it so many times that everyone pretty much knows it. It's kind of wild. I mean, we just really, there was a connection from our first conversation. He believed in me, and I took a leap of faith and I joined the team. I was like the 10th employee in Peloton.
And it's so important for us to hear that too, that you can pivot at any point in time. Don't be defined by your age and what you think should be the norm or who you think should be hired. That's so inspiring to hear. I love that.
So that was my first pivot in my 40s, and we'll get to the back nine era. I'm in my second pivot. It's all about these life changes, these life swings, and pivoting to make the most out of your life where you are in your life. And ladies, let me tell you, because you look like, I'm not going to ask you how old you both are, but this is a crazy time.
We're in our 40s.
Mid 50s is no, ladies. So buckle up. That's all I'm going to say.
So
we're here. We are arriving. We are on the doorstep, and we see the signs. It's like we need to have this conversation more than anything.
Yeah. I mean, I hear from a lot of women in their mid 40s. They know it's coming, and your things are just starting to maybe happen, just starting slightly. You're not there yet, but it's a time that you're not really prepared for. I can tell you that.
Okay, so let's go. We're going to dive into all that juicy goodness that we need to hear from you. I really want to know, who is your bestie at Peloton? Who do you find yourself hanging out with the most out of the Peloton instructors?
That's such a question. Well, first of all, this is going to sound like such a canned answer, but this is really true. We are in such a unique position. Like, we have gone through something together that is so unique and unbelievable. And especially for the OG instructors, because we're all still there. Like, so many of us are still there. So, we have a really unique relationship. I love all of my co-instructors. I have very special relationships with so many, but if you are asking me to name.
Who's the last person you texted?
Alex Toussaint.
Alex
Toussaint. Or Jess Sims 2 days ago. Jess King. I texted Jess King. We were 2 days ago also. Yeah,
you guys really have the best people. Like, we want to be besties. Seriously, thank goodness for all of you through the pandemic. Yeah. The amount of times I cried on that bike and laughed on that bike and all the things. Like, it truly.
As much as you needed it, we needed it too. That was the craziest time in our life.
It really was.
That's when for Peloton, that's when we really exploded, and that's when things really turned to a next level kind of a thing, going from being able to just live my quiet life to not really being able to do that as much, just because it became so popular so fast, but I love my co-instructors. I can't play favorites.
I get it.
Cody's a dear friend, very dear friend. I love my whole team.
It's like picking a favorite child. You can't do it.
It is. And it is picking a child because I'm their mother. Like, I'm literally their mother. There's really not many there my age. Like, there's only a few of us that are in this sort of season of life together. They're all a bunch of kids, but it's been amazing to watch them. So many that have gotten married since we've been at Peloton. I don't have to tell you guys how many have had babies. Allie just had her baby this week. Allie Love is a brand new mom. Robin's a mom of 2. Jess is a mom of 2. It's wild. No one even had children.
Yeah.
Selena?
Selena, Sel is doing so great with her twins. I just texted Sel last week, see how she's doing. So yeah, I love my teammates. They're awesome. And they're superstars, by the way. Watching what's going on with my teammates has been so fun. You know, like Today's Show and Dancing with the Stars, and they're all over the place. They're amazing. So proud of all of them. Yeah, they're big time.
So, okay, let's dive into, you are a stay-at-home mom, and what made you actually get certified in the very beginning of this? Because Chelsea and I are both certified instructors. We've been teaching for over 20 years, both of us.
Oh, wow.
And so we live this world with you. It's like, oh my gosh, we love hearing all the juicy details. But like, what was that flip to even make you go into the group fitness to start with? I know we kind of touched a little bit upon where you were after, but what even made that flip? Like, why were you interested?
So, I mean, again, I'll just throw it out there that fitness was always really important to me. Moving my body was always really important to me. One of my passions, not something that I thought when I got out of college, I'm going to go into fitness. You know, I had a 9-to-5 job for many years. It all shifted after I had children. I was very fortunate that I was able to stay home and raise my kids. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. But I'm going to be honest, once they were like out the door and really at school, like full time, I was like, hey, what now? Do you know what I mean? What now? And again, I wanted to do something where I could have the flexibility of being home with my kids while still doing something for myself. And I'll never forget, I have to give one of my closest friends, Barb Albert, credit. I was going through a really tough time in my life. I had just lost my father, and I had never been to a cycling class. I was, doing my thing, the gym, my gym thing, with all the things that I used to do, but I'd never taken a cycling class. And a girlfriend of mine dragged me to a cycling class and said, you got to just try this workout with me, because I know you, Jen, and I feel like you're going to freaking love it. One class, and I was in one. I didn't even know what I was doing. I wasn't even at a place where I could like stand up and transition out of the saddle. One class gave me such a endorphin rush. And it might be because it was the right instructor at the right studio. All the things might have come together on that one day, but I became obsessed. So it became my number one form of cardio. It was like the running went by the wayside, other things. It was indoor cycling anytime I could. Again, a mother with 2 kids at home. So doing it like after drop off or whatever that was. And then one day I really was like, you know what? I think I could be really good at this. Mm-hmm. And the studio where I was taking all of my own classes for my personal life, they are the ones that got me certified. And they were the ones that said, you practically live here. You might as well get certified. You're going to be great at this. They took a chance on me. It's a little studio in my town called Max Fit. And I got certified, and I started teaching a couple classes a week, which turned into teaching 6 days a week in multiple locations out in New Jersey. I worked at Max Fit, and I was at Lifetime, and I was at the JCC. I was juggling a whole bunch of different studios. And then Peloton came along. Wow. And, at that point, once I was really up and running and a part of the team, I had to just stick with it with Peloton. But I knew I wanted more. Not that raising my kids at home wasn't enough, but for me, I wanted more. Mm-hmm. And this just kind of landed in my lap, and I ran with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now where are your kids now? So now you did have, your son was going to law school, right?
Yes. My son is currently studying for the bar exam. Ooh, he takes it in like 10 days. So he has graduated from law school. The exam is not this week, it's the week after next. So he's busy studying to pass that exam. And then my younger is my daughter, Carly. I mentioned, lives in Los Angeles. She graduated from college last year, Indiana University, and she moved out to LA after college, try something different, wanted a cool experience, got a job and moved out there. And so I have my son here in New Jersey now studying with me, but he'll move back into the city when this is behind him, and she's out in LA. So grown kids, empty nester, all of those things. Me and my husband.
And I did a little bit of research and know that your daughter is an Alpha Phi, and I was an Alpha Phi at San Diego State as well.
She is a proud Alpha Phi. Oh my gosh, I will let her know that. Oh my God, yes. Yeah. She had a great experience in Alpha Phi.
Okay, so talk to us about what inspired you to create the back nine.
The back nine era is what I call it. Somewhere along the lines in my 50s, I mentioned I'm 58, it really started to hit me that there were things going on with my body, with my cognitive function. Things were happening and no one seemed to be talking about it. Women were not talking about what it's like to enter into midlife. These conversations were either all fear-based or they weren't happening at all. So much silence around, menopause, premenopause, and just what happens to a woman when they start to enter this stage of life. And no one was talking about it. And here I was up on the bike having so many women in the community, strong, accomplished, beautiful women saying like, Jenn, like, are you feeling this? Is this happening to you? Like, what is happening? What is happening? And so I can say that no one really prepares you for the physical and the mental and the cognitive and the hormonal changes that go on. So I just decided that I was going to start talking about it and reframe it. So the back nine era is really, it's a mindset. It's my way of reframing a narrative. And people say to me when I first started talking about the back nine era, people were saying to me, is it a program that you're putting out on Peloton? People didn't understand. I said, no, it's just, I'm going to be coming on to my social channels and we're just going to be talking about this stuff and we're going to go through it together because no women should do it alone. There's a lot that goes into, when you take this turn into midlife, and we're more powerful together. So I've just opened up the conversation and it's been so well received that I'm just running with it.
It's so great and it's so needed. And
Yeah.
you, I have to say, look like you're aging backwards. So we just need all the tips and tricks. Truly phenomenal.
Thank you for saying that. You have to be able to change the conversation of how you're speaking to yourself and really turn it around. It's an identity shift as well, which is kind of shocking. My whole life, well, not my whole life, but you're a mother, you're raising your kids, you're a wife, you're taking care of a home, and then your kids grow up and you're like, what now?
Who am I?
And so you can either decide you're going to shrink and sort of just fade into the background, or you're going to step into your power and make the most out of, 50 plus and what comes ahead. We're like fine wine over here. We are like fine wine, So aging gracefully brings a lot of wisdom to your life and a lot of confidence. And so it's really about just owning this chapter and really stepping into it with power.
I love that. I mean, I want to break it down and pick like your brain on the tips and everything that you've done. Obviously, the narrative and what you're saying to yourself, how you're speaking to yourself, that exudes. But like, what else? Okay, so you're doing this. What's your morning routine? Tell us, because we need to know.
I'm just like you guys, I'm sure. I can see from your social media. I'm a product junkie. I'm a product girly. I'm skin caring all over the place, trying to do all the things, moisturizing and hydrating and doing all those things. But I haven't done anything yet to myself other than the little Botox here and there and the little things that can sort of help me feel better about the way I feel. I'm very big on do what feels good to you. No judgment here. If you want to do something that's going to make you feel better, then go ahead and do it. And I will be that person at some point. I just don't know when. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm there. Just when I look at myself, I get bummed out. So I'm there, but I'm not quite there yet. But it's really about taking care of your body, your mind, personal connections. It's all of those things. So it's training smarter. I like to say training smarter, not harder. Like I am training now very differently than I trained when I was your guys' age, even. In my mid 40s, I was still running after that like PR, that cardio chase. Like, I didn't spend a lot of time lifting things that are heavy and lifting weights. So it's taking care of my body in a different way, taking care of my mind in a different way, having the power at this age and the wisdom to be able to say no to things that allow me to do the things in life that I love and enjoy, and really trying to peel back the layers and figure out what makes you happy once you get to this stage of life, because it's the realization that time is finite. And so there's a lot of life left for me, a lot of life left for women in their 50s. You got to own it. You can either just decide you're going to shrink and not, again, stand in it and take control of it, or you're going to do what I'm trying to do and live your best damn life. A lot of life left to be lived. Thank you.
Now, we saw that you recently did, I think what it was, your second yoga class on air.
Yes. So yeah, it was.
What does training for longevity look like? Is that part of your routine now, adding that in, the yoga piece?
So the yoga piece is something that I want to prioritize. It's something that I should have been prioritizing all these years. I need yoga, not just for the strength that it brings, but I need it for, I mean, everyone can use yoga for the mental piece. And so I'm trying to work that into everything I'm doing. So I'm a yoga newbie. My sister-in-law is a certified yoga instructor right here in like where I live out here. So I've got her classes to take. And now I've been dabbling on the Peloton app and taking yoga classes. I did do that first class with Chelsea Roberts, who's one of our incredible yoga instructors at Peloton. And so I am finding time to carve that in. It's a lot because there's a lot of things we need to do at this age to keep us strong and moving. And, I want to be able to pick up my grandchildren when they arrive. Do you know what I mean? I'm training now for that day. I'm not training for today. I am training for what's to come 5, 10, and 15 years from now. So adding all of these things are important, yoga included, but I am absolutely a newbie. Are you both yoga certified? No.
I teach cycle.
You do too.
So, yes. And actually my husband and I teach together one class. We each teach our own classes through the week. And then we have one where he teaches 30 minutes, I teach 30 minutes. Yeah. And it's so fun and it's hilarious, because we're very different instructors. And very competitive. But I hear you so much. Like I've always been high intensity, endurance, and all of that. And my body is just saying no. Where Erin has always, she's such a great Pilates. You do yoga, right? You teach yoga?
Well, I teach yoga, sculpt, and Pilates, but I taught spinning, as we call it, as you called it earlier, for 20 years. I taught that for 20. That was my college job, and then beyond, but I just recently stopped doing it. I would say like I do the Peloton. That's the only cycle classes I really take on the regular because I love Peloton and you guys bring me back for it. And it's just like my time to just check out. I love it. But I rarely find myself in a cycle studio anymore because like my hips just don't like it as much, And so I've just noticed that the yoga sculpt and then the regular yoga flow classes, the Pilates, that's what I teach. And that's what my body is really loving.
Well, I say to women all the time, women my age, women of all different ages, when they're saying like how to get started. I mean, you guys, I know that you're going to say you agree. The first thing is finding what works for you, what you like, what you enjoy to do. You got to find something that you enjoy doing. And even though there's always going to be people out there that say, I hate working out, find what you like the best in that. You got to find something because we have to move our bodies, right? There's no exception here. We have to move our bodies. So find something that you like and that works for your body. Like you're saying, getting on taking a cycling class now just doesn't hit the same way anymore. Your body doesn't feel the same way when you're doing it. So you're not doing as much of it. It's recognizing what feels good. What are you going to come back to that you can continue coming back to? And, everyone's got to just that's why I say to people, try a little of everything. Try yoga if you've never tried yoga. Try Pilates if you've never tried Pilates. Something is going to resonate. And at the end of the day, there's always walking, which is, there is no excuse that for anybody. Walking is so critical, especially when you move into, this stage of life. It is so important, so critical, and so easy. And you can do it anywhere.
Walking is something I never really, obviously we walk daily, but that I never would count as a workout. And now it's one of my...
I was in that mindset for a very long time. Going out for a 3-mile walk was not a workout for me. No. I didn't think it was a workout for me, but boy, has my mindset changed. It's incredible.
You're giving people permission. Like I love your content just gives us permission that like, okay, if Jenn says this is okay, it's okay. It doesn't have to be a PR every day, which I feel like that used to be the chase was a PR and how many calories can you burn and all of this. And the stress that wrecks onto our bodies, like it's just so much.
It wreaks havoc. It wreaks havoc. So in real life now, I'm thinking about longevity. So what does that mean? It's, strength training. I tell people 2 to 3 times a week. I do a little bit more than that now. And I don't go crazy. I'm not looking to enter a bodybuilding competition, but I'm lifting weights and I'm trying to lift weights that are heavier than I think I should even be lifting. Obviously you have to listen to your body, but you got to pick up some weights and do some of that. It's mobility work, breath work, and then still doing some cardio to push like the CO2, like your VO2 max and sort of get the heart pumping the way it needs to. But it becomes sort of just part of who you are and who I am at this point. Like it's not optional. It's not optional anymore. If I want to feel good and be able to do all the things that I know I want to do and look forward to in the next 10 years, 20 years, it's just something that has to be done. And I tell people you have to somehow make it a priority. It's not so easy for everyone, depending on what you do for a living, your job, your situation, but everybody can find 20 minutes to carve out to move their body. And you just making it a priority. You either wake up one day and decide it's going to be, or you're going to be looking at a very different kind of life.
So true.
Yeah.
So talk to us about, actually I have to tell you a funny story. So I was on TikTok, this was a couple years ago, and I saw these friends on there and I'm like, oh my gosh, they are just so cute. A California girl, love an East Coast accent. You have a little bit of that East Coast accent in you. And I was so drawn to this TikTok page of yours. And honestly, Jenn, I watched a few of them and didn't even realize it was Jenn Sherman. I think because you had your hair down, you had glasses on.
Yep.
It was just a different vibe than I was used to seeing you in from the bike.
Yes.
And I followed you without knowing that it was you and your bestie. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Jenn Sherman. I've been following you. Popped up on my feed again. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I not know? So
I love that. And that's the woman that stopped us on the street for the very first video where Sunny and I took off. We got stopped on the street. That was the first. I didn't have a TikTok. Again, like I didn't even know how to get on TikTok at the time. But the very first video when we got stopped on the street, a woman, Pam and I, Sunny, Pam is Pam Sunshine, my best friend of 40 years. With Sunny and Jen, we were away on a girls' trip, walking down the street. And someone with a microphone walked up to us and said, you two are so freaking cool. What are you both wearing? Will you tell us? Like one of those. And we were like, oh, thank you very much. Like my point is the woman that stopped me on the street for that little conversation did not stop me because she knew I was Peloton Jen. She had no idea. She just stopped us. That video got posted and went viral, many millions of times over. That's sort of how that's how that pivot happened. Sunny and Jen sort of happened by reading the comments that were in that very first video, bestie goals. I want to be them when in my 50s, younger people tagging their younger best friends saying, you've got to see these two moms, whatever it was. And that's sort of how Sunny and Jen happened. That fell into our laps out of nowhere also. Just completely dropped into our laps.
So best friend of 40 years, how did you guys meet?
So we met similar to you. We have a sister kind of thing also. I was roommates in college with Pam's sister. Pam is a couple of years older than Wendy. So we go back to the college days. I have my best friend and my roommate in college, and she's got this cool older sister, only older by, 2 years, but older sister that would come and visit. And after college, Pam and I, Wendy lives right here. Pam lives right here. I love Wendy. We're all within 5 minutes of each other, but mine and Pam's friendship kind of just started to like blossom and take off. And 40 years later, here we are. We've been through everything together, walk down each other's aisles, giving birth together, bridesmaids, in our single days. We were single together, married together, parents together, and now we're Sunny and Jen together, living it out. I keep saying we're going to go into the old age home together. We're going to two of us are going to be making TikToks in the old age home.
Oh, that is the dream. We actually just surprised Erin. Courtney and I just surprised Erin last weekend for her birthday. Okay. And we all live separately, but we were sitting there like, okay, can you even imagine if we lived close? Like it wouldn't be fair because we wouldn't hang out with anyone else.
It's kind of true. Listen, we have a great group of girlfriends. We were out to dinner last night with another one of our best friends. We have amazing group of girlfriends, but I'm not going to tell you that it isn't amazing that my best friend of 45 years just happens to live 10 minutes away from me. It could have happened another way. She's a girl from Miami. I'm from New Jersey. She ended up raising her kids, buying a home and raising her kids where I was buying a home and raising my kids. And so we're really, really lucky in that way because there are so many best friends who are nowhere near each other. And it's so hard, So
true.
It's fun. It's really, really fun. Keeps us busy.
Absolutely.
So I've got like 2 jobs now. Second pivot.
I love it. I love your pivots. And I have to say, just even from speaking you like through the screen, you feel your energy. And it's no wonder these pivots happen because you just invite in the good life. And I think that's such a gift and that's such a great message that we can choose to invite in the other or you can invite in the greatness. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, thank you so much. That's a huge compliment. I love it. Thank you so much.
Okay. We have some rapid fire questions for you. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Favorite song to ride to that instantly boosts your mood?
Oh, that's so mean. Only because I am such a music junkie that I could never just give you one, but I'm gonna say this is coming off the top of my lips only because I was listening to the entire album last night. I'm a huge Justin Bieber fan. Hold your thoughts. Hold
Yep.
your thoughts if you're
We
gonna.
love. I'm a
Everyone knows I'm
believer.
like the rock. I'm 58 years old, so I'm the classic rock girl. A lot of people like to pin me as the 80s girl. I'm obsessed with music, obsessed. And so, anyway, anyone that rides with me or knows me knows that I am a huge Justin Bieber fan. And I'm having a Bieber moment right now with Swag and just them like from last week at the Golden Globes and da da da. Anyway, anytime I play a Justin Bieber song, doesn't matter what's going on, I'm good.
Done.
Gosh, I love that so much.
No, I'm like, I am.
That wasn't on your bingo card.
No, it was not. I was definitely gonna, rock was all the way. But I did like a love themed classes all this last week, and Bieber's got so many good love themed songs. So Bieber was on my playlist all week, and I made a big announcement about it every time he was on. So I love you for that.
That's great.
Okay, what's your go-to breakfast?
Go-to breakfast, I always have hard-boiled eggs in the house. I just feel like they're quick and easy, and I can do that with no problem with a workout afterwards. Sometimes my stomach gets sensitive to stuff. So I wait. This is unusual. People freak when they hear this. I don't have coffee before I work out, which is nuts because people have to like start there. I don't have coffee before I work out. That's like I save it for after, depending on how late in the day I'm working out. But I usually try to get my workout in the morning. 2 hard-boiled eggs, or I'll do a Fage yogurt. I always have berries in the house, grab some raspberries and blueberries. I keep it simple. On the weekends, I'll do something. I'll treat myself to I still am eating egg whites. A lot of people, there's all this talk about egg white versus not egg white. I'm an egg white omelet girly. So I love a big egg white omelet with toast. There can be butter on that toast. I let myself have things, but I do small little breakfast when I do it. And it's usually hard boiled eggs.
I love it. I'm a fan. We buy like the 24 pack from Costco. We get like 3 of them. I have a 13-year-old son too. So.
Okay. Those are getting eaten in your house.
Oh yeah. And he's on a fitness journey.
Got it.
Okay. Going back to Peloton, what's the most unexpected thing about working at Peloton?
I'm going to say 2 things. The Peloton community, because again, I started at the beginning. There was no community. And then to watch and see what that evolved into was it's really unbelievable. It's not even something that I can't articulate it a lot. It's very hard to articulate how powerful and devoted and passionate the Peloton community is. So the community is incredible. And then probably, here's what I'll say. A lot of my co-instructors were used to being a little bit more in the limelight. They came from either dance backgrounds or TV background. Some were straight up fitness, but I came from no background. Okay. So I came from literally raising kids and doing like carpool pickup and drop off to figuring out how to navigate teaching classes on camera for a massive audience, and then sort of navigating what that would look like in my personal life. By no means, I sound like such a jerk. By no means is it hard. I can't live my life. It's amazing. And people are so nice, but it is a transition to have your life sort of on display for the world to see. And joining Peloton in its earliest days, that wasn't a part of the conversation. We didn't know it was going to explode into what it turned into. So I maybe wasn't ready for that, but 13 years in, and I'm so blessed. I mean, but trying to navigate that in the beginning was
I'm sure
a surprise.
Mm-hmm. What is a habit in your 50s that you feel has changed your life the most?
Oh, the power of saying no to things. The power of saying no to things. I used to worry, and the power of not giving a shit about what anybody else thinks anymore. And that's been with me for a while now. I'm proud of myself. I can say that in my 40s, I was like, all right, enough of this. Enough of me caring so much about what everybody else thinks of everything, because the only one who is hurting now seems to be me all the time. So I need to take care of myself, but power of saying no. Listen, there are things in life that we have to do. There are things called obligations. There's doing the right thing. That's not what I'm talking about. But you should be able to say no to things that don't serve you, that don't bring you joy, that bring you stress and anxiety when you can, and not being afraid to say it. It's a powerful thing, saying no.
Have you read the book Hell Yeah or No by Derek Sivers?
But I hear it is amazing. And I've been every time I talk about the power of saying no, somebody says to me, have you read this book?
It is my life motto for everything. Wow. Like career-wise, what I'm going to have for dinner, who I'm going to hang out with. Like, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no.
If it's not a hell yeah, it's a hell no. And that is, it looks like
yeah.
you're there. You've already, this is already in your arsenal, which is amazing.
We're scratching the surface.
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's such a parallel. Erin's 2 years older than me. So she's a little ahead and is like, she'll call me out, Chelsea, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. And I'm like, okay, you're right. But like, we're just getting there.
And Sunny's 2 years older than me. And she will say to me, she is of the two of us, the one that will sit me down as well and say, she'll set me straight. Yeah. She will set me straight. You know, she's that part of the duo that we are. She is that person. She's got such wise advice and life advice. And although I think I'm doing pretty good, I've always got Sunny to knock me into line, to like remind me when I fall into one of those moments where she's like, Jen, get it together. You know,
it's the best kind of friend to have. I mean,
it is.
You want that.
Yep.
Okay. Finish this sentence. The back nine era is all about
living my best life and owning it, being proud of who I am at where I'm at, and just, oh my gosh, I'm excited for what's to come. It's a new stage, and there are things about it that are scary and unknown, and the changes are wild, but it's also a really beautiful, comforting time in your life to see your children grown, to see them thriving and living their life. So the back nine era, this time of my life, is going to be the best era.
Cheers to that.
So this podcast is called Bright Side Up. So we always ask our guests, how do you live your life bright side up?
Just being true to who I am. Just being true to who I am, staying exactly who I always was, and knowing that I am powerful, I am beautiful, I can do hard things. All of that is who I've become, and it's taken a long time to get there. But that's what's the gift of being 58 years old. That's the gift.
I love it. We so needed this reminder. I'm going to admit something that I actually thought yesterday, which was, I'm 42. My skin's changing. You just start to see these things that for 15 years, nothing changes. 15 years, I looked the same in the mirror. My décolletage looked the same. And suddenly it's like, what? And I had this thought yesterday, what if my prime already passed and I didn't know it? And you have completely rewritten that. And I know better, but like I needed you this morning, Jen, to give me this, because now I'm like, yeah, we are just getting started.
You're not even in the prime yet. There's so much good stuff to come. There's so much good stuff to come. Really, girls, honestly, look forward to it. I promise you, it's all good.
We need to get Sunny on.
Yeah, yes. We do. Will you tell her?
We would love to come back on. So anytime. If you invite us on, we will come back together.
Amazing.
Open invitation anytime. Jen, thank you so much. You are such a light, and I know our listeners are going to be obsessed with this conversation, as are we. So please come back and just never stop sharing your bright light, because it is doing so much goodness in the world.
And I think everyone knows where to find you, but just tell us, where can we find you if they're not following already?
Well, you can find me on the Peloton bike or on the Peloton app if you're looking for a workout. And then on social, I am Peloton Jen with 2 N's at Instagram, and Sunny and Jen, A-N-D and Jen, on TikTok and Instagram.
Follow them, guys. So good.
Follow us, please. We need the follows.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, guys.